If you became a vet full time, how much would you be making from that?
Less than I make now.
Ooh, okay.
The first month that I made like $2,000, and then next month, like I just went hard with it and I made like 10 grand on it. I was like, oh fuck.
That's insane.
I probably had like 10 to 20 videos with over 1 million views, and it's just being persistent. Like, don't give up, that's for sure.
What are you on track to make this year?
I'm on track to make 250K. Just life, bro. Like that 9 to 5 life. Like, it was really taxing. Like, day she quit her job was the first day I made money on TikTok. This is it, bro. Like, if you're always looking for that better day, you're never gonna enjoy the day. You can make so much money on social media. Like, it is actually insane. It was happening. I didn't care. Like, I knew I was gonna make money on social media.
Welcome to episode 8 of Money on My Mind. And this was a pretty special podcast for me because the person that I talked to in this episode is actually my co-founder. So the main business that I work on, which you guys have seen on my main channel, is something called YouTube automation. This is where we take a viral format that doesn't have someone's face in it, post these videos on social media to make money from them, and then pay editors up front to make the videos and manage the accounts for us. And my whole gateway into this was through the person I talked to in this episode, AJ. Now, I was there the whole ride from before he was even posting faceless animal videos online to him scaling it to $25,000 per month. I watched his YouTube go from 0 to 500,000 subscribers and ended up with a play button from it. And with his viral expertise and my connections to editors, we were able to take his animal strategy and scale it on multiple other accounts and bring in an extra 5 figures from that alone. So if you ever wondered about the origin of how I got into making money with these online animal videos, this is the episode for you. We go deep into his whole process on how he started that, how he was certain from the beginning that he would find a way to make money with social media. And if you're interested in YouTube automation, you're going to love this episode. Without further ado, please enjoy the show. All right, we're live. So AJ, you were the co-founder to my business that I run. So everyone that watches me on YouTube and knows the animal accounts that I run, this guy is actually the originator of all of that. So that's pretty hilarious. I have some things prepared, but the truth is I actually already know most of your story.
Yeah.
But the audience has no idea your story. So I want to go through, from the start to finish, how you actually did this. And then we can actually even go through from your perspective, like my offer to you and how that seemed. Because I think a lot of people are also thinking of starting YouTube automation themselves.
Yeah.
And it helps them to know, like, what was your perspective when I approached you and what worked in order for us to be able to work together and actually run a YouTube automation business together.
Yeah.
But I want to start with, so you were initially training to be a vet and you stopped and did this instead. So tell me what happened.
Yeah. So originally I was committed to the whole vet school biology degree, the whole route. I was doing all of it, working at my uncle's vet. And then while doing it, I was doing a little bit of social media on the side, but it was like myself at the vet, like with cute animals and stuff. And honestly, that's where I learned a lot of the tools and things that led into this whole automation stuff, to be honest. I wanted like note on that because I was so early ago. It was like back then I did social media for like 5 to 6 years without making a cent, like no money, just so much time.
So when was that? I guess like 2018.
Yeah, 2018, all of that. It was just constant working. And
what
no
motivated
money.
you to post on social media when you weren't making any money from it? Did you even see any path to making money, or?
Crazy story actually. So growing up, I was doing football, and then football like fell out. Like in college, I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. And then I actually, I don't know if you have to blur this out, what you can put in here or not on the podcast, but I did some psilocybin with one of my friends, and after that, I realized like, you only have one shot in this world, and like, why not just give your best foot? Like, I put it this way, like before I was playing a life that I didn't know was going to happen. And then after I did it, it was like GTA, like all of a sudden it was like, okay, if I know like death isn't real or all this is so small, blah, 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 like why wouldn't I play this game of GTA, this life, how I want to play it? So after that, I was like, I'm just going to post everything. I'm just do what I want. Like no one's going to stop me. And originally the goal was I wanted to meet Brother Nature. That was like the goal, Brother Nature guy. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was really big back then on Twitter. Ended up meeting him, which was cool too, when my Twitter was pretty big. But that's where it started. It was the who cares kind of vibe. Like who cares what people say? I might as well just post my life out there. And then I started getting addicted to it.
Oh, okay. So initially you were what? Like, were you embarrassed to post before you did
so
psilocybin?
for sure, like I would say also because I took my main accounts and I made them my like animal accounts. So like everyone who followed me, like all of a sudden, like it went from like looking cool to like just posting about animals, like my actual day to day. And I think the main thing that happened there was
What did your profile look like before?
total like private school, cool kid, like, like the whole fronting, everything. And that's probably the biggest wall I broke down with it was like using Instagram for not trying to be someone, but authentically being someone. And once I did that, it was like, oh, this is sick. Like, this is fun. Like this is a whole different.
So what did the content shift to? It went from flexing or whatever,
yeah. So
like,
it went from like flexing, trying to look
with
cool.
The fours, yeah.
Yeah, with all the boys to like me working at the vet, like in scrubs, or like talking about like different like gastro issues with dogs, or chocolate, like eating chocolate, like dogs eating chocolate, or just different scenarios at the vet, usually like things that I saw and I was like, oh, this is super interesting because I do love animals. So I kind of just shifted everything to like educational vet stuff, and then also some thirst trap vet stuff, obviously. But yeah, I made my leeway on Twitter at first. I had like a 100K following on Twitter for a while, and then that like died out.
Okay, so Twitter was your first platform.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I gotta say, I definitely respect the fact that you posted on your main account, because I had kind of went through the same thing. Like, I was definitely embarrassed to post at first, and I posted my juggling videos, but I made sure I made a new TikTok account, made sure contacts were not synced. Like, if people were gonna find me, they were only gonna find me because a video had gotten like 1 million views.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no way that these people were gonna find me. If I were posting that on my own personal account with kids that I went to high school with, dude, I definitely would have been scared to start out that way. Even now, I don't even want to do that. It's so irrational. It's like, all of my high school friends know that I do this, but I still feel weird posting on my account.
Yeah. It's that going all in, it's really, and that's what I like. It forced me to go all in with it. And like we know, like that stuff didn't work out, but that going all in is what led to where I'm at now, if I got to be honest. Like, if it wasn't for that initial step, I would be nowhere close to here.
Okay. So what about Twitter? Because I don't even really use Twitter. How were you using that when you first started?
Yeah, so I can let you guys in on some, like, honestly, people who like are listening to your podcast, like might even know about some of this, but like before Twitter was it was Twitter, not X. There were these things called lob chats and group chats, pretty much, that it was insane. It was like difficult to get into. There was rival lob chat groups and stuff, and you would pretty much get in a group. I got into a group from like this one kid named Austin, and once you're in the group, what happened was you would there'd be a time every day, like 12 o'clock. So you'd go with your best post at 12, and you'd have to stay in the chat of like 30 people. And like the guy who leads it would go like at 12:01 now, and he put now, and everyone sends an emoji, and that would get your like hit list of like who's going first. And then you'd sit in a chat for like an hour, and one person would post, everyone would repost it, and then you'd wait 10 minutes, the other person would post, and you'd run through the whole chat. And like by doing that, keep doing it over and over again, you would move up in ranks and like get into different chats and stuff. But I got banned on Twitter because of it. But that's okay. What like.
But at that point, that was you doing that with your vet videos.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah. With all that stuff.
You were posting a video with a cute dog in the shelter, and then having them spam repost that.
Or like make quote tweets of it and stuff, and like a lot of viral videos. Like that was when I first started getting viral videos. Like at this point, like of my face and my stuff, I probably had like 10 to 20 videos with over 1 million views. And then when you think like this automated stuff, I probably had like 50 to 60, maybe 100, a lot of views. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause even then I was doing videos, right? And that step in my life was I had to look what was around me at the vet and make a viral video. And like, after doing that for a year or two, like some would go viral, some wouldn't, but it was difficult. But once I got into, and you helped me get into it, and we'll get into that, but the automated side of this and like all this other whole way of making money now, all of a sudden I went from making a viral video with what's around me and like doing the best to it to now having limited resources. So it was like a step in my development, I guess, to where I am now, definitely as well.
I see. Yeah, so you were able to learn virality even within the constraints that you had, which was
it helped
having
me
to take videos of your shelter.
Yeah, I would say the
and not
constraints
being able
helped
to-
it.
Okay, yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
I definitely think it is. That's like a tactic I think a lot of people will even use to try to improve. They
Mhm.
practice with constraints. So then when they're unconstrained, they're even more creative
Yeah.
because they had the constraints to begin with. So that's very interesting. So that was your first touch with like virality. And then you got on other social media platforms.
Yeah.
So what happened? Was that after you got banned off Twitter?
No, so it was like the same time. So I don't know. There's like a video of an orange cat with his tongue out, and it was like ran through everywhere, like during COVID and stuff. That was my video, and I was pretty big on Twitter. And then at one point, that's when COVID happened, and TikTok was just trying to get big. So I was like, okay, you know what? After a lot of convincing, my friend was like, just do it, bro. You have videos, like just post on it, just post on it. So I just started posting, and they started getting traction right away. Like it was like over, I don't know, a month I had like 100K followers. Majority of that though was, it's funny because I do it now. I did like a storytelling thing. So this is just like, once again, my brain thinking virality because I've been doing all these vet videos and stuff. I was taking care of a squirrel at that time from the vet, and I made a story, and it's still on if you go to my TikTok and like scroll all the way down, it's still there. But I put my squirrel at the window and wrote a story like this random squirrel was coming up to the window, and like I'd like put treats down and get him to come in closer and closer. And then eventually he was on me and he was like my friend. But like that was the video that got like 12, 15 million views. And then I just did squirrel content from there on. But it's funny because that's what I do now is tell stories. But I did that to blow up on TikTok, was telling us I made a story.
Yeah, I also think what makes that so viral, because that's obviously within our business has also been consistently going viral. I feel like what people really like to see is the human animal interaction, like the fact that humans have I know humans have feelings. I hope. The fact that animals like have feelings and can understand and connect with humans is, I think, what
it's
makes
like
people be like, oh my god, like. Okay, so that was your first thing on TikTok, and then you found me. So you were posting all of this before you found me. You were just posting all content that you recorded.
Yeah. So at that point, Twitter, it fell off. Twitter got banned or whatever. But I had that pretty big TikTok. So then I just started making videos for TikTok, and I got to like, I think so. Like that big push was at 100, and then like over the next year, 2 years, I got to like 200K or right around that, like 180ish. And then I saw you on Money Mine, and you were scrolling, talking something about making money, and I was like, whoa, like,
what made you trust me? Because when I was posting videos on that channel, I literally was just, I don't know, I was just posting stuff kind of very casually, just out of my room, no editing, nothing.
Yeah, I think that was it.
What video did you see from me, and what made you go, okay, I want to ask this guy more questions?
I think it was a video talking about like the RPM stuff on like the creator program on TikTok, I believe. But I mean, I've seen so many people talk about that shit, you know, like it wasn't like I hadn't heard about it. But I think what made me want to like talk to you was because it was very like just chilling in your, like you could tell you were just vibing, kind of like this guy's just got here vibing, like he's not trying to do anything, like he doesn't really have any bad intentions, he's not selling a course, like he's just vibing, like he's out here just giving information. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And I was looking through your page, I was like, oh, that's a normal dude, like this guy's not scamming, he's not doing nothing crazy. I was like, let me reach out to this guy. And then you were like pretty direct with you, like let's get on Discord call. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, okay, like I'm not gonna say no to that. And then if I remember correctly, you gave me an idea. You gave me like the how you've seen other people do it, which is like the compilations at the time. And I ran that for a while until TikTok cracked down on that.
Yeah,
then,
well, let's get there in a second.
Yeah.
So do you normally, if you see someone make a video, like, do you normally DM them about if it's something that would be helpful for you?
You were like the first. I mean, you were the first person to do that too. Now I do it sometimes, but I've learned that from our interaction.
So I never just cold DM sometimes and get help for free, even. Which is what happened.
I mean, that's also what happened with Twitter back in the days. Again, those lob chats and stuff. I cold DM who I'm now friends with close as well, like you. I cold DM'd, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and I don't even know, from my perspective, I mean, I really was only making money through my juggling channel, and I still don't have like a consulting business or anything like that. So from my perspective, I was like, oh, this guy can definitely make a bunch of money. I don't know why I helped, honestly, for free, but I just was like,
new.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, he could just do this. Let me just show him how to do this real quick. And that was my perspective. Like, obviously, I didn't have like any living expenses or anything. I'm still in college, so I was just like entering into the make money online space, and I was just making sure that the things that I was telling people actually could work, I guess. And so, yeah, I think what I told you there was, a lot of the new creativity program on TikTok had just dropped pretty recently. I was showing how much money I made with my juggling account from it. And I also was aware that like people were making a lot of money from it, reposting like podcast videos and clips and like all that. So I was like, yeah, bro, I think you could I think you would just be able to do the same thing with animal content. And then what did you do from there?
So at first it was a complete failure. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was 2 weeks, it was nothing. I was like, it was funny on my CapCut. I was looking back at it, and I still have it at the bottom. I was doing like slime videos next to like this other page that I saw that was doing pretty well, and I was like trying to figure it out, and none of it would work. So nothing worked for like a week, but I knew I could make money from it. And then I found this account. I don't even know if he's still around, but it was like ETHDBN, or it was like ETHBN or something. I don't know. And I saw his pages, and I was like, wait a minute, like, let me look through these. And he has a bunch of pages, like a 400K account, like a 300K account, 600K account. I know some of them got taken down because he was like, he doesn't do what we do now. He was doing just these compilations. But from looking at his pages, I was scrolling, and he does like just all viral content. And I saw that every animal video that he did a viral video of, it got way more views. So like I put it in popular, and I was just looking, and like all the top 20 were like all of a sudden all animals. So I was like, okay, let me take a look and see like what these animal videos were. And by pretty much copying his style of video, so like his type of compilation with like the text and where that stuff was, and then getting on the same hashtags he used for his biggest videos and the same music he used for his biggest videos, I was able to get into his niche, or like in front of his viewers. And that's when everything kind of blew up.
And what did you start posting? So I remember the key thing we talked about pretty much was that your videos needed to be over 1 minute long.
Yeah.
That was like the core thing of the new TikTok creativity program. So where did you find content, and what did you post at the very beginning?
So at the very, very beginning, my content was coming from TikTok itself. So I made my algorithm. Everything I do, honestly, is using the algorithm against itself, kind of like it knows what it wants. So like I use it against itself. So like I knew I needed the best animal content in a compilation, because all these old compilations, like this one guy was posting, was going super viral. But like these are old videos I've seen from Twitter days to all this stuff. So then I made a whole new TikTok. And I scrolled through it like I'm an animal lover. Like I'm just, all I care about is animals. And then all of a sudden, whenever a video would get pushed out through the algorithm, I would get it first on my feed. So like I would get like an organic animal video that's huge from someone's page that I would end up with on my channel. It's already big. So by compiling original videos from the algorithm, and then using some text. So I would do like kind of a daily dose of internet vibe, but instead of speaking it, I write it on there, and I would add my 2 or 3 cents to it. Like kind of like, you would never believe it. I wouldn't even tell a story. I'd just be like, oh, this duck did this and this. I kind of explaining it with words. And I did a bunch of those, and I was ripping off that. I remember the first time I did that successfully, the first month, like it was the end of the month, and I made like $2,000. And then next month, like I just went hard with it, and I made like $10,000 on it. I was like, oh fuck, like this is sick. And so that's when we started talking again.
At this time, there really wasn't even a transformative element at all.
It was just
compiling.
Yeah, the transformative element definitely came in as TikTok started cracking down on it and like stopped working.
Yeah. Before that, though, I thought you had even just reposted YouTube videos. Was that the first thing you did, or was that while you were also doing the compilation videos? I don't think I reposted full YouTube videos, but there were like some rescue YouTube videos like I have like cut up, but even then I'm still cutting it up and like writing some text on it or something. But at first, compilations, some cut up YouTube videos, but no like story element yet. Like that was just all it was. So yeah, I remember the one of the elephant painting from YouTube, and and the really, really viral one, which was another YouTube video that was like puppies meeting baby animals for the first time.
Yeah.
With the Billie Eilish song, and that just went insane. Yeah. And how much did that one video make you?
both of those videos probably made me over 5K, like
That's
good money. And you're right.
insane.
So those were like sprinkled in there. That was a little after the compilation part because I noticed I found out from watching this one guy's page that I was kind of going off of his stuff that the copyright algorithm, or the whatever you want to call it, the creator beta program system, like the videos in that, is dependent to what's in it. So if someone takes a video from YouTube before it's touched TikTok and you post it on TikTok, that video, there's no thing to compare against it. So if you post it first, then you kind of have that as your video until like copyright stuff go through, whatever it is. But that's honestly how it works on all social media now. I've noticed is if you post it first on that site, you're good. So those videos, the elephant one in particular, had been around for 15, 20 years or whatever it was. And I was just scrolling through YouTube looking for cool video stories to cover or something. When I was doing at that point. And I saw like 10 years ago this was posted. And I was like, wait, this is so cool actually. Like I could definitely just cut this up, speed it up a little bit, because it was a 10-minute video. So that one had a lot of edits in it. Like it was 10 minutes and I made it a minute. So I cut up like the best parts of like, so when he did like long strokes or he did like little things like that. And then I put it together so it made it look like it was going faster. And like I noticed that, and I noticed that worked. And I noticed other people try to use that video and it wouldn't get pushed. I was like, okay, because I posted it first and it's already viral. These videos won't push now. And once I knew that worked, I was like, okay. Actually, what happened was I saw that guy post another one of those. So when I did the puppy video, that channel does a bunch of videos like that. And he picked a weird one. He picked like kids meet kittens or something. I'm like, oh no, I've seen this channel. There's a way cuter one than this. It's like dogs meets kittens. So then I went and pulled that one, and same thing. After I posted that one, other people try to take it, but when they try to post it, theirs wouldn't push because I put it in like create a bank. It wasn't in there yet, you know? So that was a valuable lesson I think I learned in that as well. So that was
yeah,
cool though.
I think for me, the biggest lesson that I've seen from you and a bunch of other people making money online with content is a really, really effective strategy is what my friend calls platform arbitrage, where basically you find something that's working really, really well on one platform, but is missing the value add of making it specific to the new platform that you'd posted on.
Yeah.
And then you just take something that you already know is working really well, but isn't quite tinkered to the correct platform. And then you just tinker it. So we've seen the explosion of people going to long form podcasts and then just clipping it up into shorts. 'Cause you're essentially taking something that already has, a Joe Rogan podcast, 10 million views, but obviously someone can't watch 2 hours of footage on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so they did the right thing by converting that longer clip into the platform that they're posting on.
Yeah.
I think this could be done in so many ways, like taking the most viral news articles and then just converting that script into something with, B-roll footage. Like there's so many angles you could take on platform arbitrage. The Reddit stories were a huge example of that.
Yeah. That's what that big account on TikTok, News Daddy, kind of does that. He kind of takes the news and gives it to you in a minute, and he's huge. He's like one of the biggest TikToks ever. Like
exactly. Yeah. News Daddy isn't saying information that isn't anywhere else. He's just presenting it in a way that matches really well with TikTok as a native platform.
Yeah.
And consequently, he has like millions of followers.
Yeah. And something I learned with those videos, especially both of them actually, but the puppies one, was how important music was when you have really viral videos. Because that was a Billie Eilish song. And that was when that Barbie song came. It was like that Barbie Billie Eilish song. And I remember seeing the video do progressively better as it was hitting up in the TikTok ranks under that song, if that makes sense. Like if you click a song, you see the videos under it. And I noticed how valuable that was to have a sound that you're at the top of it. So that was something that was cool. I definitely learned from that situation.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like a somewhat, at least probably shady business in terms of how videos get pushed out when it comes to music and which artists are being favored. We seem to have some experience with this with the YouTube music royalties of,
for sure.
Platforms favoring certain labels. So yeah, I totally agree. I definitely think that's not coincidental.
No.
Okay, so that's very, very interesting. So from there, you made your first amount of money from the repost videos, and like the compilation videos. How long did that work for?
It probably worked for like 2 to 3 months, 2 months.
And then, and in that time, you were able to make like 20 grand
Yeah,
probably, and then just
28.
dip.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I could have just totally dipped out.
Yeah. So then what happened after that? Like, how did you know it stopped working?
So pretty much the tactics I was using before, like the videos would either stop pushing or there would be no RPM or it wouldn't be put into the creative program. Like it would get disqualified from the creative program. Um, but I think I ran them for a while longer. I think I reached out to you again for the second time, randomly at like 3 a.m. or something. But I'm trying to remember what that was about. Was it about? Or was that after?
The
When
way
was that?
I remember it is that I forget when it was you changed your content up, but I remember that you had that account working, and we were considering like what I wanted to do with my Discord at the time, right? Whether I wanted to open a community, like a paid community, even potentially. And so I was like, dude, I think this would be a really cool thing to teach people, but I want to make sure that this is replicatable.
Yeah.
And so I remember I asked you to start a second channel, and that's what I think really prompted us getting into faceless automation.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if at that time you were making the videos as compilations or stories at that time.
So at that point, I think I realized that so as I was, the RPM was dropping and it wasn't as viral stuff, and I realized something that was more viral, because like one thing I always did was I critiqued. Like I was never happy about it. Like that ETH bidden guy, like I saw his account was very just like the same thing every single time. I was like, there's no growth here, man. Like you got to change it up or you're gonna get passed. So every single time I made a video, I made it a little better, and you can see that if you go back to like my furthest video, like you'll see the steps of me actually like getting better. Like the whites on the screen got wider or smaller, like it fit better. The words placement of it was better. And then I realized that one day I was just being creative with it, like having fun with it. And I realized I had 2 like cat videos or 2 dog videos, and I made like a little story. So they started being little stories, like 2 clip stories leading into each other, and then another 2 clip stories, and then a compilation. And after I did that a bunch, I realized like, wait, I could make an entire story out of this.
And that was one way you got around the monetization that wasn't allowing you to just compile. You started adding actual scripts to the videos and changing what the video meant.
Yes. And I will say the reason that I wasn't able to compile it was because other accounts, like I was saying, once you're in that like database of creative program, other accounts were starting to do it as well. So like I would post something and then like I'd see another account doing the exact same montage, and all these videos started getting thrown around and murked up. So it wasn't working as well. And it was still working. I was still making money, but I think I came to the conclusion of like making these stories just because from creativity, honestly. I don't think it was like total drop on revenue. Like I think I averaged that 5 to 10K for a while. And then I had one crazy month that was like 20K. And then after that, I reached out to you, I think, because I was starting to plan like the whole wedding process and stuff. And I wanted to do more accounts and we wanted to figure something out. And I was like, we need more money. Like I need to figure this out. Cause I can do so much. I can do so much as one person. Like that's one thing I tell everyone now that has this stuff. Like it is your thing and like you like to do it, but you only can make so much doing it by yourself. Like it's one account. But yeah, so after that little growth of like realizing that the videos do better if you have that story element. The first story I made was the shark turtle, the shark turtle one, and the turtle like came back with a jellyfish, and it's like one of the most viral ones too. And it's just 2 YouTube videos, which is crazy. It's like not a bunch of clips. It's literally 2 YouTube videos cut together with a story. And that video kind of changed the tide for me. And the way I got to that video was I noticed like making stories mattered. But I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw a crazy viral video and it was a story. I was like, how's this viral? Like this story is kind of butt. Like it's not very good. Like it's not like these clips aren't great. Like this story, it was the same clip actually of that turtle. And they were saying this dolphin pushed this turtle to the boat to help him because it was injured. And I'm like, bro, if you're going to make up a story, make up a believable story. Like what is this? So I essentially took that first story and made it believable and it went extremely viral. And after that, I was like, whoa, this is sick. Like this is super doable, but it was a lot of work. It became like way more work at first. Like now it's not too bad because I'm used to it, but way more work. So I think what happened was I knew I could make stories at that point. We met and then we were talking about, okay, now let's grow this all. And we tried, the compilations wasn't like growing. It was like that same point. We're like, okay, we need to do these stories. We need to grow the story thing.
Yeah. Did you know, because you're a phenomenal storyteller, like I will watch your videos with your own unique scripts and I'm like, dude,
Thank you.
How do you even come up with that?
Yeah.
Did you know you wanted to be a storyteller? Or did you just find a love for it?
I always liked English class, and I like being creative, and I like animals. I like I can't explain it, but I'm sure listeners and you could probably even get it. But like, you know, when something juggling, you do it, but you get into like a flow state, and you're just like having fun, like being creative, like having fun moving, like you're having fun doing it. That's the thing with writing, and I can tell when I'm in a flow state with writing and not in a flow state with writing. If I'm genuinely enjoying it, it's so much fun. Like it's a great time. Like I don't care how long it takes. Like I want it to be a perfect video. I want it to evoke emotion. Like I want you to feel something while reading it. It's so much fun. Other times, which happened with me once the company, we got this big bank of videos and I have like all these videos in front of me. It was almost more difficult for me to enjoy the process of it because it was a process. It wasn't like a creative experience of writing. But I think I've always loved being creative, and I think it's a space that allows me to do it. I'm not sure if I loved writing itself. I got A's in English class, but I like being creative. It was a good outlet, you know, and I could still do animal stuff. So I do like it a lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways you could take it. I wonder if one day you'll be a super famous fiction writer, dude, because your stories are just really good.
It would be really cool. That's a good vouch, dude. Yeah.
Cool. And then so at this time also, when were you deciding whether to be a vet or do content full time? And when did you actually, like, how much did you actually have to make for you to come to your decision to say, all right, I think I'm going to pursue content?
Yeah. Okay. So crazy again. It sounds like an ad for psilocybin, but the first psilocybin thing was like 5 years ago. Okay. So now we're in the future and I'm talking to my now fiance and she hates her job. And like, one thing I like to do is like, back then a lot of me was like, I wanted to provide. Like I just really wanted to provide for someone. And she hated her job, dude. Like she hated it.
What was she doing at the time?
She was doing pain. So right now she owns a yoga studio, so it's completely different. But she was doing pain management, and she was like a receptionist at a pain management place. So everyone just came in for pills pretty much, and everyone was always upset, and like everyone was it just wasn't a good environment, you know. Like she would drive to Santa Monica, like 2 hours in traffic, make butt money, come back 2 hours this way, wouldn't see her all day. It was just like really like taxing on her. Like I guess it's like the keeping it like just life, bro. Like that 9 to 5 life. Like it was really taxing. Like it was really stressing her out. And I remember we did psilocybin together once because we were just like ready for a next step in our lives. And like that's like when I usually do it. And after I did it, I just had this feeling. I was like, and it sounds crazy, but I was like, I can provide. Like I will make money. Like you're gonna be fine. And the day she quit, it took forever to convince her to quit. The day she quit her job was the first day I made money on TikTok, and it was like $1,000. And it was like first day. So that was like the mind switch of like, okay, like I'm gonna make money on TikTok. And as soon as I really thought that, I made money. Like the next, like that week, it was insane. Like I talk about it all the time. So that was the change from like no money to getting some money, I guess you could say. What was the rest of the question? Kind of way off topic.
Then how did you decide? Was it at that point?
Oh, okay, yeah.
No way, I'm becoming a vet.
Yeah, so at that point I had money because I'd been at the vet for that much time, and I was working at the vet at the same time. But I knew I couldn't afford my life and her style with the vet money, so I knew I'd had to do it on social media. So as soon as that hit,
I was like, while training to be a vet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was still in school.
But if you became a vet full time, like you were a veterinarian, how much would you be making from that?
Less than I make now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, less than I make now. But the way it worked was at that time I wasn't at the vet practicing because I only practiced in my off seasons of school because I was in my last semester. It's crazy timing. Last semester, senior year for my biology degree, which I finished out, which I remember that year because I started making money. I didn't want to. And I think I told you, I was like, I don't want to do year this year. Like I'm just doing this because I've already committed this much time to it. Like I don't want to, like I must have to do it. So I
sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Gets me every time.
So I made myself do it. I made myself do the last year of schooling. But after that, I knew it. Like I'm making money on social media. And it's crazy, dude. I was thinking about this the other day. I had some crazy, that week that I was like, I'm making money. I had some crazy ideas. I did some wild things just to like, I was going to make money, bro. No matter what I did, I was going to make money. Like I got like one of those big Jolly Ranchers, like probably like this big. And I sat there on TikTok live and licked it until I got to the center of it just to get views. Like I needed to make money. I was figuring it out. Got like 600 people to watch. Cut my tongue up though. And I was like, okay, this is gonna work. New idea. And I had another idea, and I did this, bro. I'm sure it's in my library. It was so dumb, but it's just, I'm saying this because if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. You know, like the things I was trying, eventually something was gonna hit. Like I went and bought like, I don't know, probably 1,000 balloons, and for every heart or every donation, I had like a bunch of other big balloons in the back. I'd blow up balloons, so I filled my entire room up with balloons, like over like 1,000 balloons in my room. Made like $10, but I was like, I'm so dedicated to making money on TikTok. Like I was trying outrageous stuff, bro. Like every day.
I did not know that. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I was just grinding it, but I was like, I'm gonna make money. I was like after that.
This is like that makes me feel like the Mr. Beast mentality when he was posting, counting to 100,000. I was on the same vibe. Watching It's Everyday Bro for 24 hours. He was finding a way to make it work no matter what it was. Yeah, just doing the most ridiculous, bizarre challenges just to anything to get views. This was motivated mainly to provide.
Okay. My fiance, yeah, it was to provide. Mm-hmm. That was it. But it was that something switched to me. It's like, I'm gonna do it. I even one time filled my bathroom up with balloons, and I got this was the worst one, bro, because I didn't even end up posting the video because it was so bad. Filled up a bathroom with balloons because I had so many balloons from the last thing I tried to do. And I got like a piece of plywood and put like nails in it and put my phone on it. I taped my phone to it so like I could drop it in the room and like film popping the balloons and be like, how many balloons did it pop or something? Popped no balloons and broke my phone. bro. And then I was like, yo, what? I was like, I just wasted 3 hours to break my phone. But I was trying, bro. Then I saw you, and that's when we started like really talking, bro. And then I was like, I saw you, and I was like, okay, this guy. That's the mindset I was in. Actually, was when I saw your video. I was like, this guy, like, he's doing it. Like, oh my god, what the fuck? I'm gonna message him. Like, I'm doing this crazy shit here. Messaged you. You gave me like a guideline to it, and then same thing I was doing, which is trying. I did the same thing. Like I tried with the goo video, I tried with this, I tried with that, and eventually it just worked. Like it's really just determination when it comes down and creativity. But
hearing that story makes me 100% certain that you would have found a way to make money, whether you did this animal stuff or not.
It was gonna happen.
We should definitely do that video, like a remake of it, but actually do it well and just post that on YouTube and go viral with it. Dude, but I can see like you were like, I'm going viral. Like I'm figuring out how to go viral.
Yeah, I had no choice. It was happening. I didn't care. Like I knew I was going to make money on social media. I just decided. It's like, it's happening.
So fire. So then we got to, I think now we can get to when this was like probably 1 or 2 months after you had started a second account. Mm-hmm. And I think you even started a third account, and all of them were blowing up quickly.
Yeah.
And that's when I was really like, okay, dude, from my perspective, it was so obvious. Cause I was like, dude, I've been making all these juggling videos in my room, which takes time from my end, then paying an editor to edit the video and then making money from it versus your videos. I saw cold proof that you could make money from the videos, and so I was like, I already have these editors. This would take no time from my end once the editor knows how to do it, and it's making more money than I'm making with my juggling stuff. So from there I was like, we need to figure something out. Now honestly, I think both of us pretty much, like in terms of business or entrepreneurship, both, and I mean, and even still, but especially at that point, we're very unexperienced, especially working with someone. And we just kind of came to an agreement of like, we were like, I don't think we had any really much thought behind how we were going to do our splits. I remember one day we were like, all right, we can talk about it. Let's just get started. And we got started. And then eventually you called me and you were like, bro, I was thinking about it. Let's just do 50-50. Cause like, I just want to get started. And that seems fair. Cause I do feel like we kind of both needed each other at the beginning there, especially. For sure. So yeah, I remember we started posting, and the first videos did complete ass, bro. Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, they did. They did suck. It was so a little bit on like, I feel like why I did that even was you know how earlier, like I was just helping, like I didn't know why I was helping this kid. Like I'm a college kid. I'll just give information. That stuff you did the 2 months before is one of the reasons why I was so excited to like be down to be like, let's do 50-50. Like I trust this kid already. Like, this kid got me. Yeah. Cause it was almost like you got me here without getting anything already, you know? So I was like, we're going to work together. Like might as well make it 50-50. Like I wouldn't be here at that point if it wasn't for you. And then I was making those 2 accounts. I had 2 separate accounts, and so I had made the Animal King account was doing great. Those other 2 accounts, this one I was doing some story stuff, were also doing really well. But I noticed all of a sudden, like I can't keep up with these. Like that was the main thing for me. I was like, I couldn't do it. Like there's no way I could do it. And then we started talking.
And that's when you were like, okay, for me to manage this other channel, I need more manpower. Yeah. And I already knew the editors, so it was a really easy thing. Yeah. Yeah. I also want to highlight that because, I think the value, there's a concept that's definitely very well known in business, but it's like the give to ask ratio. And so the value that comes when you help someone for free and don't even ask for anything in return. Like I truly believe that most people, a very valid way to make a lot of money in the world is to just make promises to people and follow through with them. You literally don't even have to be the one providing a service. You can literally just be like, oh yeah, I've used this app and it was great. And if you make that promise and then the person, you follow through with it and the person uses the app and it was great, and you just keep making more and more and more promises over time, and just being a trustworthy person in the first place is going to lead to infinite opportunities and money. Yeah. That's certainly happened with me referring people to the music royalty program and any affiliate program, and I think will continue to happen with my YouTube channel. There's people who want to work with me and edit my videos at discounted rates just because they know, like, I've helped them make money from my video. Yeah. And so I think that was a huge lesson for me as well, because the only way this partnership would have worked, like, because I even had to like log into the TikTok accounts. Like, if you didn't already trust me from there, I highly doubt you would be like, oh yeah, let me just let this guy log in. Like,
I'm pretty sure you have my social security number.
Yeah, I have everything, bro. I have your social security number. I have your ID. I have your address, bro. Like, I could just steal your identity right now.
For sure.
I'm still debating if I will. No. Like
that trust is
that all
huge.
came from me essentially giving, like, you could have got it from anywhere, but I just told you exactly what you needed to do, kind of, and you started making like thousands a month from that, and I think that set an insanely solid ground.
You delivered.
I cooked. Yeah,
you cooked.
To have like a longer term partnership, and again, start making the money that we're now making together. Setting that up would never have been possible if I wasn't willing to just help you. Yeah, and not without guarantees of getting anything from it.
And then talking from like a creator standpoint, there's a part of someone who creates stuff, and I know we've experienced this with some other people we've worked with, that it is sometimes so difficult to let someone else in on your sauce or your creativity because you feel like you've done it. But once again, if I didn't let Bennett in on this or like give part of it, I would be making none of this money. And like that was probably a huge wall. It was a very difficult wall to get over. So I appreciate the trust you instilled in the relationship before that, because I don't know if I would have even been able to show you or want to show you if you hadn't done that. So it goes both ways.
Exactly. And it would have been worse for both of us for me to not do that, because now we both would make less money if there was no trust. Yeah. So yeah, that honestly has been a huge lesson for me, and going forward is like a lot of the reason that I will just help people when they ask. Now I get a lot of like DMs for that, so it's hard to help everyone for free, but at scale I can still do it by making videos and having 1,000 people watch it. You know what I mean? Insane. So back to where we were on this progress of scaling these faceless accounts. So we started with TikTok. I literally at first I didn't know how to train editors at all at the time, so I just told them like, yo, here's this channel, just try to make videos like this. And like obviously that wouldn't work, bro. Like they don't know anything about the process of telling the story or finding the clips or anything like that. So the videos were complete ass at the beginning, except for one random dude that made a video of a panther. I think he literally just pretty much was doing a very similar style of you did one with like a Jaguar.
Yeah, the growing
and so he
up.
pretty much just copied that format. Like all the other videos, people were trying to put together like random videos. Oh, this is a hippo. This hippo's name is Sam and blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really following the exact format of the videos you had made before. But this guy actually followed the format and it worked really well. I remember I was on vacation at the time, but I got the video from him. I posted it, and in like 3 days, bro, that video made like multiple thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember I paid $11 for
video.
that video.
Yeah.
I was
That was
like,
crazy.
what the hell? I could put $11 in and get 2,000 out.
Yeah. That shit was
That's
crazy.
when I was like, okay, we have a viable business model. Obviously, we need to make this work at scale, but the return on that is just absurd.
Yeah. And I think right after that is when we were like, okay, I shifted myself and I just started growing TikToks. Like I grew
right.
I monetized like 4 TikToks in like a month or something.
Right. So the landscape at the time was that you needed at least 10,000 followers to be monetized on TikTok. And the thing was, it was much harder to monetize an account and get it growing from scratch kind of than dealing with a channel that already has some momentum to it and already has a defined audience.
Yeah.
And so, what we kind of shifted to there was, holy crap, like other people can make the post, we can post it, we can make $2,000 from it. And the only limiter really is having enough editors to spam the videos and then having enough accounts to actually handle the editors. So you on the front end were making new accounts so we could post enough videos, and I on the back end was trying to get as many editors as we can to start spamming out these videos.
Yeah.
So that was that was like an insane month. And I remember at the time here too, TikTok was really the only platform we actually used, which in hindsight was definitely a mistake.
Yeah. For sure.
I told you about repurpose.io, which auto posts your videos from TikTok to YouTube. And I think around in early August or maybe late July of last year, of 2024, you started setting that up and having your videos auto repost to Snapchat and to YouTube and TikTok. And then Instagram. We met up. Oh yeah. And Instagram. Yeah. And then finally we actually met up for the first time at Vid Summit, which is like a YouTuber convention.
Yeah. And
there were a lot of things we were hoping to get out of that, like Snapchat shows and obviously all of that sort of stuff. But we met a lot of people there. But it was at Vid Summit that you got monetized on YouTube with your actual personal channel.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That was crazy. Okay, so first off, Vid Summit was amazing. But I was like on the back end doing a lot of the videos still. So Bennett was going to like these big conference call. What are they? Speakers? Convention speakers, I guess.
Yeah, speaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was listening to a speaker, and for some reason that whole trip, I was like, yo, I hate all this. I hate all the creatives. Like I can do this. Like I was kind of salty about it. So I didn't go to any of the, I don't know why. My ego was crazy. So I didn't go to any of like those big talks, but I was outside while I got monetized, and I texted Bennett, 911 emergency, come outside right now. And my account got monetized. And the first day, like the first income was $1,700. And we're like, holy shit, we need to shift everything to YouTube. And like, that was like, at that point on, we were like, okay, TikTok's great, but like, we're going to YouTube. Like we need to shift this to YouTube. And I remember calling you out and you're like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Did we get banned from TikTok? And I was like, no, I just showed you my phone. And you're like, ah.
Crazy. I was like,
oh. What the fuck? Yeah, it was insane. I will also say I loved one thing I realized from Vid Summit we got was like talking to these huge creators and stuff and showing them the numbers we were pulling. They kind of validated what we were doing. Like a lot of people hadn't seen something like this before. Like they were like, these are insane numbers. And I don't even know who to introduce you to. Cause you guys are kind of like no one else here is doing this really. Like no one was doing this to the scale we were doing it. So it was nice to feel like we were on the front end of something, at least in that area. So that felt good. That was validating hearing that from people.
100%. Yeah. And I remember, so even after the couple days after that, you were still getting more and more money every day from YouTube. It was bizarre. So yeah, that's when we were like, holy crap, wait, why are we focusing? And at the same time, I think also we were noticing the TikTok RPMs were starting to really drop off.
Yeah.
Like, we noticed what would happen is with a new channel, the first month the RPM would be awesome, and then months later it would start to fall, and like it just at the beginning of the month you might have a decent RPM, and then it would just drop off a cliff.
Or if you had one really viral video, all of a sudden nothing. So it came down to YouTube was way more consistent with money.
Yeah,
like
so it was and TikTok was so unstable, right? Like I on my juggling channel still, which is mostly just shorts, I still made $300 from it last month. I haven't posted on it. My juggling TikTok has dropped to $0. Creativity program made nothing. My YouTube still made $300. I haven't posted on either of them.
Yeah, consistency.
And so
it's like linear.
YouTube really provided much better lifespans to videos and competitive RPMs with like a clear RPM that you were actually getting.
Yeah.
Compared to with TikTok, a very shaky, highly dependent RPM.
And that just made way more sense for us, especially for the time and money we're putting into it. The fact that we can post a video and it wouldn't just die out like in a month was like, what? Yes, this is what we want to do.
Exactly, yeah. And so for an actual business where we're going to pay people up front, having stability and also long-term videos that will continuously make money was huge for us, I think.
Yeah.
And so we pivoted a lot of our stuff to YouTube at the time. Now, getting a YouTube account monetized was significally harder than getting a TikTok account monetized.
Yeah, it was. I think also real quick, something to add if anyone here is posting on TikTok. One other thing that made TikTok a little more difficult was I believe it. I don't know. It's fully just whatever I think this. We haven't really tested it. Some videos do go viral without it, but I feel like TikTok videos do significantly better if you type in app, like with the words. So that was also something that was way chiller with YouTube is we wouldn't have to type in app. It could just be posted or repurposed or something like that.
Yeah. So specifically at the time, I remember a huge limiting factor and one that we were really trying to come up with a solution for at Vid Summit was we wanted people to type in app on TikTok because we did believe that would make a video do better and that TikTok would prefer a video that was actually edited in app. But that would require someone else to log in to actually post that for us. So we were we were trying to post on a ton of accounts because at the time we had grown like 5 or 6 monetized accounts probably, and we were trying to post on all of them, and it was just impossible. Like we couldn't type out the script for all of them ourselves all day in app. We needed someone to do that for us, and the problem is the editors that we worked with, could make the content well, but they couldn't really write the scripts well. On top of that, we didn't necessarily trust them enough to log in. So we had to look. This is another thing that I've found in terms of trying to scale a business is a big limiting factor. Oftentimes, all you actually need is just someone trustworthy. They don't even need to be that skilled. You could hand the person the script to write for us, but we just need someone to trust to actually log into the accounts and work with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, that started a whole nother element of trying to scale, which is actually bringing in another person to handle a lot of different stuff like that.
So I'm happy that YouTube worked out just about then too, because that would have been that would have been
really annoying. Yeah,
it was annoying. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. So if anyone here's trying to grow TikTok, you're typing out, try to type in and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Might blow up. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, that from there we kind of just started scaling out the YouTubes, and also I think the two key things were scaling out the YouTubes and getting those monetized, but two, really thinking a lot about how we make the videos and formatting them in a way that we can actually repeat sustainably and doesn't require anywhere near as much creativity from the side of the editors. So doing that was kind of
Go for it. I was gonna say, and that 0 view glitch was a month or 2 figuring out for us.
Oh yeah. So that was another big problem.
That was at least 2 months.
We would post videos. We would basically manually post to TikTok and then have auto repost it to YouTube. And a lot of our accounts were just getting 0 views, like a video with 2 views, 5 views, 0, and we weren't getting put in the algorithm at all. So we were like, okay, we know these are doing well on TikTok. This isn't about quality.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time figuring out how to get out of that. Since then, we've learned a lot, and we're able to get accounts out of 0 view jail a lot quicker now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all of that combined into actually what we do now. And obviously, my channel shows like the different channels we own and like the earnings from them. But yeah, like scaling pretty much the other channels we have to like 10K plus per month. And that's on top of your personal revenue channels. That's pretty much where we're at.
Yeah. And I will say it did take time, but I do enjoy doing this because now we're starting other projects and we already know how to do it. Like we've kind of put our time in for like the 0 view glitch, or even like growing the accounts. Like I had to learn how to grow an account dependent, like a TikTok account growing it and a YouTube account growing it is completely different. Even like how I feel like they send out the ratios is different. Like the whole thing is different. So like to anyone who wants to do this kind of things, like don't give up. That's for sure. Like if we had so many chances to give up on this, like we were getting 0 views, whatever. And it's just being persistent. Just like before when I was filming like the balloon videos or licking the Jolly Rancher, like it's the same idea, just like being persistent and changing it up. That's literally that's like the whole, how we are what we are at this point. It's like not stopping.
And yeah, there's so many. I agree with you. And what's also really exciting is as you set up more stuff, you're way better positioned to do the next thing, as you said. Like, if we have a new niche we want to pounce on now, we are way better positioned to start automating and scaling that now than we ever were. So for me, it's so funny because like it only ever makes sense in hindsight. But like every entrepreneurship thing I've tried to do has always led me to, okay, this made a little bit of money, but really what it did is it gave me the tools to pursue the next thing. So like my juggling thing, that made me a bit of money for sure. But I'll go in order actually. The first thing I did was drop shipping, which didn't make that much money, but gave me the tools to set up a real juggling store when I sold juggling balls that made me a lot more money. I started posting juggling videos. I thought that my end goal was going to be juggling. It turns out the end goal was being able to get talented editors. And that actually is a lot more being able to recruit and manage talented editors is actually a lot more lucrative than, well, it depends how good you are at it, but then juggling on social media. So it's so funny. I'm sure it's going to happen again with this as well. We're going to think that faceless automation is going to be our thing and then realize that whatever we've been working on to make the faceless automation work is the actual valuable thing and that we get out of it.
It's amazing because it's very similar but very different with me. Like for me, it was like the whole Twitter thing and knowledge of that, the Instagram knowledge. Like it's always you're working towards a goal that you're not even familiar with. It's just when you stop trying is really when you hit the wall. Like you think. Yeah. And I want to speak on that too. For me at least, I don't know about you, but one thing that made this adventure different is having someone who's like-minded like me, but not like-minded with me. Like, I think me and you are very similar, but very different. And it has helped me personally get over things that I didn't think I'd be able to get over or like see things in ways I haven't been able to see it. So there is definitely a level of importance to having a business partner or business relationships with somebody who isn't exactly like you, because they're going to see things differently. And it's going to get you past that block a little faster than before, if that makes sense. Like it'll get you back on track. And I feel like since we've been together, we've had these 3 to 4 different ones that I would have hit the wall before and like maybe dropped off for a month or 2 and then came back to it. But because we're both doing things, it's always like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step?
100%. Yeah. In case you guys couldn't tell, AJ's much more creative than I am, but I'm much more organized.
We're way more organized.
Yeah. So that's what really, I think, made it work. Like, I don't think you would want to make sure all the accounts are in order and got posts up and
none of it,
got the editors and made sure they did the right thing. And I wouldn't want to write animal stories either. So
so
that's, I think, a partnership that works really well. I brought this up when I was talking to my friend on like episode 0 of this podcast, but I basically related this to a very other common partnership, which is basically like a coder. Like if someone's designing an app, you normally have a coder and a marketer. So it's like a coder is so good technically, but they suck at talking to people. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can't, there's no way they're going to get their product out there. And so often you'll have 2 co-founders come together, one that's really technically minded but sucks at people, and then another guy that's really good with people but can't fucking code for shit. And so filling each other's gaps like that, is definitely an important
dude,
is definitely an important
for sure, dude,
part of the partnership.
Yeah. And it's amplified the ability to get through those blocks for sure, I think.
Yeah, 100%. So do you consider yourself an entrepreneur now?
Yeah. I think I do. And it's gotten me super excited. I'm not sure how much you've talked about possibilities of doing Snapchat shows or stuff on your podcast, but the idea of doing so, like, because like I said, I went from the real life to like automated, and the idea of now me being able to go film like something that is real life again, or like active things, like different stuff we were talking about, like the balloon popping and things like that. It's the entrepreneurship of it before is like just creative, but now I see it as a business, like a business avenue as well. So it's exciting. Like before it's like, oh, I'm doing something creative, I need to do something else creative. But now I'm realizing I could do that. It could work. And then now we can take this and give it to the company, use it on Snapchat shows or this, that, blah, 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 and then make a bunch more money. So like, I feel like I'm still the same as what I want, but the overarching like ability to get past whatever I wouldn't be able to do alone is there now. So I just feel more motivated to try new things, if that makes sense. Because if it hits, it's like way more, it's like way bigger. It could be way bigger than I can imagine.
100%.
So yeah, I think I am.
Do you have an end goal?
Yeah, I feel like I have a few end goals, dude. It always changes. Okay, so end goal. That's a good question, because I do like doing this. I was thinking about it today. I was like, say this all works out and like everything hits, like every deal we're talking, everything does it, and then we're all of a sudden millionaires. Like, sick, we made it, but now it's like kind of boring. Like, now what? Like I experienced that the first time with like on Twitter. I experienced that. Like I remember grinding, and I blew up and I met that guy I wanted to meet, which was my goal. And I remember like missing the journey so much. I was like, it was so fun though, figuring it out. And now I just kind of have these followers, like, and like obviously I had no money back then, but now like yesterday I was thinking about it, and I feel like I would get bored of just like doing nothing. Just having a goal. So a goal, like a short-term goal, would probably be to get myself a car, because I don't have a car, just because I'm walking distance everywhere, But I'm like, if I get a car, I'd probably want to get a nice one. Pay for my wedding, which is coming up in the next year.
Congrats.
Thank you. But I would say, I don't know, make as much money as I can, and then make my family comfortable, like provide. Like I said before, like I like to provide. But for myself, like I was talking to my fiance about, like if it was up to me, like I'd be in a cabin somewhere in the woods, like just with my phone, making this content, doing whatever, and like go out to nature. Like I'm not a very materialistic person, like at heart. But like I can enjoy some nice stuff too at the same time. But
yeah,
it's an interesting. But I think my next goal is this $1 million company. First off, is getting to that, and then I would love to like keep this one, sell it, make another one. Like I think I like the journey more than the goal, if that makes sense. Like I enjoy doing it more than.
Yeah, I absolutely do too. I feel like even if it made $1 billion, this is what I would be doing. I'm really interested in the science of scale, essentially, like making things large and making big. Pause again.
Whoa,
damn it, dude.
Bro.
Damn it.
Bro. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's what excites me. And yeah, like a lot of people
That's what excites you. Oh my goodness. Oh man, dude.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I do feel like for a lot of people, like the question of what do I do once I provide everything that most people never even get to that. So yeah. Honestly, for most people, we'll see what happens with us, but it can be a lifelong journey to even just say, I like providing for my family and I want to do that better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also realized, like, the older I've gotten, there's beauty in enjoying like now, like the contentness of like now, like, and it's not to be mixed with not being motivated to get this stuff in the future. Obviously,
we're in the good old days right
now.
Yeah,
but like this is it, bro. Like if you're always looking for that better day, you're never gonna enjoy the day. Like, okay, I'm gonna be happy when I get a GTRS Porsche. Okay, so every day before then, I'm not gonna be happy, and then I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna have it for a day, be really happy, and then I'm gonna be happy when I get the next Lambo. I won't be happy for 2 years, and then I'm happy when I get the Lambo. Like, it's just like, bro, I'm here for so long. I'm gonna be fucking happy. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think being content, there's beauty in it. Just being.
There's this spiritual exercise that I really like. When I heard for the first time, kind of shocked me at how well it worked. The person said, okay, now like imagine everything you would ever want. Like close your eyes and like actually imagine everything you would ever want. And so you do that, you imagine, and he's like, do it vividly. Like imagine, you know, getting that grade that you want, or the car that you want, or the house, or having a fulfilled life, wife, blah, blah, blah. View it like very vividly. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, like I'm doing that. I got it. And he was like, it was an audio I think I was listening to. And he was like, you see how you're smiling right now? That you just brought about that happiness without having those things. You never had those things. You are able, he was like, you don't need those things to be happy. And I just proved it to you.
Yeah.
Like, you just were happy right there. You just were smiling. You just experienced joy. And there was no material thing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, sure, you were imagining material things, but the point is, it all came from here. It didn't come from the outside world.
Yep.
And so you do have control over, to some degree, over your current present state mood without needing material things to do that. And anyone who does that exercise, I'm sorry if I spoiled it for anyone, because it was so shattering to have that happen without me knowing that he was going to say what it was proving. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. And I'd say being in that mindset of you controlling your life day in, day out is going to make you a lot more money. You're going to make the money you wanted to make when you're you know what I mean? Like being in that just happiness and not like grinding your teeth at things is going to get you to past those little blocks that we were talking about that reveal something we didn't know. Like for you, the editors, or like you'll get past that disappointment so much quicker because you're just happy. Like, oh, it's not that I didn't get that. I'm going to get something better. You know, it's like that whole mindset. So it's really beautiful. And I've actually been working with someone to do that stuff. And if anyone's interested in that kind of things, like a lot of that stuff can get back to like childhood stuff, honestly. So some cool meditations you can look up. But whenever I clear that stuff up, bro, life is good day to day, and financially it gets better. I don't know if it's all connected or probably not, but it's just a mindset, bro. It's how you act, you know? It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I think like just being clear-headed and feeling in control often is enough for you to make better
decisions, about
produce better and produce
everything.
better content and be more productive. Okay. Well, I got through a lot of pretty much everything I wanted to get through. How much have you made to date, do you know, from animal videos?
I'm not sure how much I've made to date, but given everything, I can tell you what I'm on track to make this year. Because
what are you on track to make this year?
I'm on track to make 250K on everything.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. And that's no expenses either as well, right?
Yeah, that's no expenses. That's me pretty much looking at my it's only 3 months, I guess you could say, and then multiplying it. So it's the last good 3 months, I guess. But last year I did it. I think I finished the year at like 90K or something like that. But I started late, and a lot of stuff is jumping. So we're growing, man. We're getting places.
Yeah, that is awesome because it's like people grind to get there, and you're doing it with. And I mean, you are actually grinding on your personal account.
Yeah.
But the power of content, dude. Just 0 or 100% margins.
Yeah.
For your videos, it's just based on your time.
Yeah, your time.
That's crazy.
And then that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, though, is like right now, like I do grind my account still, but the beauty of having a company and like doing this in the company, every single thing I find out that's somewhat valuable, some of the stuff that's not even valuable, I just be saying it automatically. Now when I succeed, all of our other accounts succeed as well. And that pushes me even more, you know, like.
Yeah. Essentially what's happening now is, since we have all of the animal videos going out on the back end that you are an owner of, your success is being multiplied essentially. Because when you do all the deep dive and you find something new, now instead of it just benefiting your channels, it benefits your channels and all of the faceless channels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how our company does as well. So on top of the 250K, the last 2 months we've profited like around $7,000 to $10,000 with the music deal. Depending on what pans out with that, we're looking at another probably like 10 to 20K a month.
Yeah.
At least for the past 2 months. with the New Deal, it's might not be as
We'll
good.
see. Maybe better though.
But
with this
we'll
other
see
guy.
about that.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And so I think we could end the year with like 250 between 250K to 1 mil in terms of all the things you have ownership in.
I believe
which
it,
is insane.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. No, that's the goal, dude, and I'm excited. Like, I think one thing I've been seeing is just when you think you're making so much money and like, oh, I'm making so much money, there's another leg to it, and there's another leg to it. There's another leg to it. Like the other day, I was walking around like a neighborhood a little further away from me. It was super nice. And I was like, why am I thinking about like a car? Like these houses are like 1,000 of these cars. Like there's so much money to be made. Like it's like there's like a block in your head, like thinking like, oh, I only deserve to make 100K or 250K. Like, nah, like you can make $1 million in a year. Like you've heard the stories of these people on Snapchat shows or these big Facebook accounts. Like people you can make so much money on social media. Like it is actually insane. It's actually crazy.
No, it is bizarre. It's actually, I was describing to someone, like an adult, like how much money some of these social media things are making. And it's so funny because his reaction was more like he got annoyed, like he got pissed and then just annoyed, honestly. Like he was like, he probably was thinking like, oh, that is so unfair. This is bullshit. Like I'm working this job. And it's funny because when I started seeing all this for the first time, especially your story with the animals is what kind of really made me realize like this is real. And like someone I know personally is doing this. I started with the same reaction as him. Like I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? Like I've been making all these juggling videos. What the fuck? But then I was like, yeah, that's unfair. How am I going to do this? Like I got extremely curious, extremely excited. Like, yeah, I could recognize the unfairness or whatever, or the craziness and bizarreness of someone working full time and getting paid way less than that. But it didn't make me annoyed. It made me extremely curious and excited to pursue that myself and figure out how to make that work.
Was the person that got annoyed, was he like a professional? Was he like a college grad or something?
He does like coding for something at like a bank, setting up like
sounds like
systems.
A suit job for sure.
Yeah, I mean he works remotely, so
that's cool.
Yeah, but
my experience with that was I showed my brother like one of the 20K months when I was first doing it, and my brother's a lawyer, like went to USC law school, like he did the whole thing about it. At first he was like, yo, what the hell, like there's no way, right? And then he got so excited and he had me send screenshots. He started showing everyone at his work because like I was damn near making their salary when they went to school for like 10 years. And majority of them were like, yo, what the fuck? Like this is insane. Like this is crap. And I was like, yeah, so that felt really good. And then my mom and dad actually, because like it's so hard to explain what I do, but the first time I started making money, they thought I was like selling drugs or something illegal. Like they made me show them my TikTok account to show I was making money. Like they didn't believe it. They're like, how are you paying for this? Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't work at the, like, where are you getting this money? I'm like, social media? They're like, social media? Like, okay, like you've been doing social media for 5 years and you're getting money now. Like, that's not like, so that was funny. It's almost impossible to explain it to a certain age group of people. Like, I'm sure my fiance's parents, like, I don't even think they fully know what I do. They're just like, social media is sick. They're like, yeah, I just say YouTube now, honestly. I just say YouTube. Like that's all I say. I'm like, yeah, kind of explain it.
Well, another hilarious thing that I've experienced also, I wanted to add this in, is like every time I show people our videos, I still am getting people being like, oh my, that's you? Yeah. Like they've seen all the videos that we've posted before. Yeah. Like, they follow our channels.
For sure.
People that we don't even know or haven't even met before.
It's really cool.
That's a hilarious thing.
I'll like sometimes like it's probably not the best thing to do, but I'll be at dinner or walking because I walk everywhere. And if someone's on their phone, I notice they're on Instagram, I'll like peek at their screens to see if like, yo, is that one of our videos? Like, you know, like because the reaches are crazy on them, dude. There's like definitely I forgot where I was the other day. I think I was at like Costco or something, and I was just thinking like, dude, I wonder how many people here have seen our content. And I was like, it has to be like 60% of people. 50% of people
seen like, at least one video.
Yeah, and swiped away. It doesn't matter. I've seen something. I'm like, that is crazy. Like that is an insane like just thing to think about, you know?
Yeah, I feel like when you end up with like tens of millions of views on one video, that's a video that basically anyone, especially with a non-warmed up TikTok account where they haven't developed a specific For You page, that's a video that every single at least let's say this, every single new user to TikTok has seen if your video is getting in the tens of millions of views.
Or even that one video
and same
that's
with Instagram and YouTube.
One of the videos on TikTok, correct me if I'm wrong, is like 90 million views or something, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, that is insane. And like the other day, the president posted like a reel or something. It was a crazy like AI reel that's insane, and it didn't even get that many views. I was like, bro, like that video pulled more views than like a top
president.
The president's out of pockets post. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out the Pakistani and Indians. I don't know who really started this, but this story stuff has been around. Like, it just hasn't been to our level, if that makes sense. Like, they've been doing this or trying to do the story stuff. Like, I wish I knew where it originated. You know what I'm
mean Taylor Pod? Yeah.
Like, or they did that? They did the stories before?
No, they never did the stories.
Oh, I'm just saying whoever, like, I feel like every story account that I've ever seen before me was always like out of this country. Like, there's like, I think we're like one of the first, you know what I'm saying? Like
American based
to do like story content. I think that's why it does so well. But yeah, shout out those people for starting the story vibes, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, dude, super nice talk as always. Obviously, this isn't our first time talking.
No, yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Super nice talking. And yeah, I think that paints a really good picture of like the whole process of how we both got into YouTube automation and how we do this together.
Yeah.
And I hope people listening can take inspiration from that and like apply some of the principles that we talked about to starting either this side hustle themselves or whatever side hustle they're looking at doing. So yeah. Thank you so much, and
of course, dude.
Peace,
dude.